All right, we are live on YouTube, and today I'm going to be discussing YouTube has completely changed my life. I'm going to be sharing my real life personal story that stems back almost 4 years. So stick around for all that and much, much more that's coming right. Live from Northern California, welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. And if this is your first time here, and most importantly, you are open to suggestions and change, please consider subscribing and then banging that bell. And after you bang that bell, when that pop-up box pops up, make sure you select all notifications, because that way you won't miss a single thing. You will not miss anything when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. And also make sure on your smartphone, your tablet, your iPhone, your Android, or anywhere that you have the YouTube app installed on, you must also make sure that the YouTube app is set to receive those notifications at a device level. You do all of that and you're good to go. You are good to go. Welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome, Queen Helen Casey. Let me just make sure that the notification went out. It did go out. And let me check the stream status. We are looking great. So Queen Helen Casey's here. Hello, Eli. Smash the like button for Eli. And Queen says, hello, Mutt. But Mutt's not here, Queen. Are you just saying hello, Mutt, to the invisible Mutt, assuming she's going to be here momentarily? I'm just kind of curious about that. But anyway, first and foremost, folks, I know this show was supposed to start 2.5 hours ago, and I had some personal issues that came up at the last minute that I had to tend to, so I had to keep pushing the show back until those things were handled. Everything is all good, and we're going to move forward. But once again, my apologies for starting this stream late. If you're watching on the replay, it's not a big deal because you're going to be watching this whenever you feel like it on demand. But for those of you that have been waiting live, my apologies to each and every one of you. And speaking of the devil, well, you're not really a devil, but it's a figure of speech, right? Mutt Nuts World's in the house. Hey, Eli and everyone. And Mutt Nuts World says, hey, Queen. All right. So, folks, I don't plan on being on here too terribly long, but probably going to be on for about an hour or so, because I want to share my story on how YouTube has completely changed my life. And the title is, YouTube has completely changed my life, a real perspective from an experienced life coach. I am very experienced at many things in life. And after being on this platform as a YouTube content creator for almost 4 years, I'm very experienced at being a YouTuber. Despite, how many subscribers I have or active, supporters I have on my live streams or whatever, I am very experienced at dealing with what it takes to keep pushing forward on this platform to eventually reach success. And, this stream is not going to be a bashing stream on YouTube. I love YouTube. Obviously, I'm here live. I'm still running my channel. And I think YouTube, for the most part, has done a great job to, make this platform an amazing place for people that have a message to share. Are there still some things they need to work on? Yes, I did a stream several days ago regarding their harassment policy that they amended late last year, December of 2019. And they really haven't resolved that issue, in my opinion. So, if I'm going to critique YouTube on anything, it's going to be on their harassment and bullying policy. But besides that, I think they've done an amazing job. I feel the new Creator Studio, which is called Studio, is incredible with all the insights and the analytics it has. It gives you so much more information regarding what it takes to be a successful YouTuber. It allows you to better gauge where you're at and what you need to work on. I am very impressed by that, and I'm very grateful by that. But again, the harassment policy is something that I feel YouTube needs to do a better job on. I think a lot of the things that have happened to myself and many other YouTubers on this platform, and even some that have quit the platform because of this, that's why they quit. They quit because, the incredible amount of harassment, bullying, doxing, attacking people in their real life, especially to use your real name and show your face like myself, has gotten to, the best of people. And this stream is primarily going to be catered to those of you out there that come from a good place, have a big heart, are open-minded, are kind and genuine people that are legitimately trying to grow a YouTube channel or are considering starting a YouTube channel, and you want to grow it and potentially, turn it into a business or get your channel monetized and make a little extra money. I know there are many people out there that have tried and then they've given up and they think that they failed, which is not the case. There are people that have been trying for a while, like myself, and they haven't reached the numbers they want to reach or get to where they want to get to, and they think that they're failing, and that is not the case. If you're feeling that way, okay, if you are feeling that way, this stream is for you, because I'm here to let you know that you are not alone. Now, there are going to be people that love this stream, and it's going to resonate with them. There are going to be also other people that, don't like me, or people like me, or don't like positive people. I have my own set of trolls and haters that have been trolling me for years on YouTube that stem back to a former channel I used to run. I'll get to that in a little bit here. And it doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't matter how positive I am, how nice I am. If I make a mistake, it doesn't matter even if I apologize after they ask me to apologize. These people, are always going to keep coming at me because that's who they are and that's how they've chosen to be. And that's why they're on this platform. There are specific people on this platform that come out here for drama, and they come out here to see, other creators attack good content creators like me. And in my opinion, the reason why they do that is because these people feel that they have no other content besides drama, and they get the most traction when they attack other people, and they know there's an audience for that, so that's why they do that. And does it affect you as a good YouTuber? Yes, but does it have to affect you? No. I've learned how to handle it, how to deal with it, and how to move forward with it. And I'm going to share with you folks, throughout this stream, what I've been through from the early stages of when I decided to become an actual YouTuber almost 4 years ago. And I'm going to share with you my journey along the way and what I did along the way and what I've done as recent as the last 2 months to completely put this behind me and move forward. So, anyway, Muttnuts World says it can be a devil sometimes, LOL. Well, yeah, and for some more than others, Mutt. It just really depends. It depends on how the other people see you. From what I've noticed out here, when you are perceived to be better than certain people, those people will typically attack you to try to kick you down to their level, so that way it makes them feel better. So let me just get right to it. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat, and I'll get to them in between what I'm saying. So almost 4 years ago, I think it was around 3.5 years ago or so, actually, it was a little over 4 years ago. I was in a great relationship with a woman that I felt was going to be my soulmate. This was not my last relationship. It was 2 relationships ago. And my ex-girlfriend, I thought she was an awesome woman. You know, she was a veterinarian, a doctor. She was very cute, very sweet, very nurturing, very feminine. She did not have that masculine energy that repels me about women. No disrespect to women out there. Sometimes you have to exude masculine energy in certain situations, especially when you're in the workforce. But, you know, when I'm dating someone, what more so attracts me to a woman is her femininity and her feminine side, her sweet, loving, nurturing side. And this woman had that. And we had a great connection, a great relationship. To make a long story short, and I'm not going to go into details. I've done this in the past on my former channel. It's not necessary. She ended up cheating on me, and basically, you know, that it really took a toll on me. It really hurt. It hurt so much to the point of where I started doing some podcasts, and I created a show on a platform that a good friend of mine runs. He has an internet radio station platform, and I called this show "Genuine Relationships in the 21st Century. Is it possible?" Now, if you want to hear those 3 episodes of Genuine Relationships in the 21st Century, Is it Possible? Those shows are free on demand on my website, coach.eliasmelas.com. You will have to register for free to be able to access them. And then all you do is go over, I believe, the media tab, and then you select Genuine Relationships in the 21st Century. All 3 episodes are there, and you can listen to them. They're about an hour and a half to 2.5 hours each. I think the first one was like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. And then the other 2 episodes were 2.5 to 3 hours or something like that. Well worth the listen. I share a lot of stories there, including the story regarding this ex that I was talking about. You know, because copyright is different on internet radio stations, and you know, there's a license for that we had purchased. You know, I was allowed to play some copyrighted music there, so not a problem at all. So that's what really fueled me to start doing this podcasting. Now, as I was doing those podcasts, I had put myself back out there in the online dating world. This was about several months after this ex cheated on me, and I decided to move forward and put myself back out there. Spirit Vox should be good, Queen. So if you ban him by mistake, please unban him. Spirit Vox Paranormal Dundee should be good. As a matter of fact, I just want to, check his channel out, and I'll let you know right now that it is the real Spirit Vox Paranormal Dundee with 1.09K subscribers. I'm subscribed in, bang the bell, select all notifications, yada, yada, yada. I'm doing quite well, bro. Thank you so much for being here. I'm just, I'm sharing my truth, bro. I'm sharing my truth, and hopefully my message will reach some other people out there, some other aspiring YouTubers, to not give up and to, learn from the mistakes I made, because I wasn't as knowledgeable how YouTube worked when I first came out here. So that way it doesn't affect you folks in the same ways it affected me, because it has tremendously affected me, and good and bad. But again, it's a life lesson learned here. So so I put myself back out there, and I met an amazing woman. I started dating her. And she really loved the podcast that I did, where, once again, if you go to my website, coacheli.com, and you sign up for free, you register for free, and you click on the media tab, you will see those shows there. And, I told her, I said, I've been thinking about, starting a life coaching business, because I really want to help people, not go through what I went through, and to help teach them the signs to look for and how to remove yourself from those situations before it gets too bad. And she really loved the idea. I also told her, because At that point, I was an insurance broker that I want to teach people, how to transition from the corporate world into becoming a self-employed entrepreneur, because she was an entrepreneur as well, or get that dream job in the corporate world or promotion, because I had experienced that in the past and I struggled with that. And when I figured it out, I wanted to, teach people how to, have a better chance of getting promoted or actually getting promoted if they're getting passed up. And I told her, I said, I want to really teach people how to better understand modern world dating relationships and how to keep the fire burning in your marriage. And she had gotten out of a marriage a year previously. And when her and I first started talking, she was sharing her situation, her stories about her divorce. And it was just so interesting. I even gave her some insight based on what I've learned, and it just bonded us much closer together, to the point of where I said, you know what, I'm thinking of starting a YouTube channel to promote my coaching business. So what did I do? I ended up starting a YouTube channel. It's called Coach Eli, Uncompromising Business and Personal Relationship Coaching. And I asked her, would you like to come on to YouTube with me? You're my girlfriend. We can share the fun times in our relationship. We can share how we communicate. We can share if we have a disagreement, how we handle it. We can really show people hands-on, what a good relationship is all about. And even when times are not as good in any relationship, even in a good one like we have, we can share that with people and share with them how we resolve our issues. And she really loved that idea. Well, about 6 months after I started that channel, I was making pre-recorded videos originally. And as I was making pre-recorded videos, somebody that was following me made me aware of this community called MGTOW, which stands for Men Going Their Own Way. And basically, to give you a nutshell of what MGTOW is basically a group of men that have come to realize that the downside risk of dating or marrying women in modern world is far too great. So they have withdrawn. They feel that marrying a woman puts them in a financial risk, especially if they are the breadwinner and they're married to that person more than 10 years, then the woman can divorce the man and take half his assets, right? Or even in a relationship, it's hard to trust women. So, it was interesting what happened in this community. A lot of the guys that had gone through a divorce, were even telling, single men to not even date women, or at least not date them seriously. They were saying, if you want to have some occasional, pump and dump, hookup, sex, no problem. But besides that, you just can't trust women nowadays. And I was told by this one guy that had a relationship that MGTOW is a great community and you should get involved. It could help you grow your coaching business. Well, that's the biggest mistake I ever made, because once I got involved with that community, I didn't realize I was dealing with the most angry and bitter men I've ever come across in my entire life. I've never seen so many angry and bitter men that, were so unhappy after their divorce that they felt the need to project that onto every other man out there, even men that were single and looking to date someone. So, I went in there and tried to be a good guy, and I didn't try to change anybody to change their mind, but I was just saying, hey, you had a bad experience, and not all women are like that. Some of them are, some of them are not. Some men are not good, but other men are good, right? I mean, what's really going on here? And once I started to get involved with that community, I started getting severely attacked. And then there were some people that started to, there were some people that came to the community and started doing other things to me. They were critiquing every single one of my videos, especially ones that I would do with my girlfriend under fair use. And they started attacking me. They started, doing a bunch of crazy things. And they were making a lot of money. They were making more money than I was making using my own content. So that's one thing that I dealt with. Now, to make a long story short, my mistake was that I kept going toe to toe back and forth with these people. Because before these people came around, I was struggling to grow my YouTube channel. I was getting about 5 to 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 or 50 views per video. And once I started getting involved with this community, and especially, 6 months after I started that channel, I started live streaming, I started getting 3, 4, 5, 600 views per stream. I was getting a lot of traction. And it gave me a false sense of growth. I honestly thought I was heading in the right directions. My numbers were going up, and it seemed like, wow, this is great, right? So I would go back and forth with these YouTubers that were attacking me and my girlfriend at the time, and I would call them out, and they were throwing a bunch of crap at me, and I would call them out. But the more I would call them out, whether I was right or wrong, it just fueled them to keep on making reaction videos, because they ended up, building a group of people that were anti-dating, anti-marriage, and anti-life coaches like myself. So these people that were using my content supposedly under fair use and critiquing myself, and more than critiquing me, attacking myself and my girlfriend, they were entertaining that audience, and that audience was paying them lots of donations. The mistake I made was continuing to feed into that all that time. My girlfriend at the time, who was my last girlfriend, she kept on telling me that you just got to ignore these people. You got to move on. And if it's not going to work out, maybe you should just start over or do something else. This is really affecting you. She was telling me this, and she was trying to be as polite and respectful as possible without telling me to shut down my YouTube channel, right? She meant well. But what did I do? I didn't listen. I kept moving forward. I kept pushing forward. And these people kept coming at me. And it kept affecting my relationship with her. And then it ended up affecting people that, she knew, other friends from her area and her family, and, again, other people that knew about her. It started to affect her. And when it started to affect her at that point, I'm going to give you the short end of the stick, she ended up breaking it off with me. And it cost me a relationship. Now, I had mentioned 2 ex-girlfriends ago, the one that cheated on me, that I thought that woman was going to be my soulmate. This woman, after her, was the most amazing relationship I ever had in my life. And I still feel that way to this day. Now, I've moved past it, okay? I've moved past it. Life goes on. I put myself back out there in the dating market, in the dating world. But to this day, this very moment, I have no resentment towards that woman. I have nothing bad to say about that woman. I don't hate that woman. I think she's incredible. She's amazing. And I'll even be man enough and come out and say, I know she doesn't watch my stuff anymore. It's not a big deal. But my apologies for putting you through what I put you through. I did not realize what I was putting you through. I didn't even realize what I was going through, because I didn't know what to expect when I first came out here on YouTube. I did not know. I thought as a YouTuber, I thought coming out on YouTube, I just start a channel. I have a camera, microphone. I create my own content. I do video editing. I put my content out there, and people that want to see it, people that it resonates with are going to see it. And others will just ignore it. But that's not the way it works. I didn't realize there's a dark side of YouTube. I didn't realize, it's very easy to, troll people out here. It's very easy to create multiple Google accounts, which is what you use to log into your YouTube channel, because obviously we all know by now that Google owns YouTube. They've owned YouTube for a long time. So that's what it cost me. And I'm not here to whine, complain, be angry or bitter. I worked through that. It took me about 2 to 3 months after she broke up with me to work through that. What else did it cost me? Okay. Now, she did not tell me to shut down my former channel. She did not force me to do that. We had already broken up. Okay. And about 2 weeks after we broke up, I felt the need to shut down my former channel. My former channel, after a couple of years, had 1,700 subscribers. And I had gone through a lot on that channel. I was initially monetized on that channel because before they changed the rules to what they are today, the qualifications to what they are today, you used to only need to have 10,000 views to qualify for monetization. So I got monetized pretty quickly within a few months on my former channel. And then almost a year after running that channel, YouTube sent out an email stating that any channel that doesn't have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 minimum public watch hours in the previous 12 months will be removed from the YouTube Partner Program. And then once you reach the new threshold, you will automatically go under review under stricter guidelines to requalify and become a part of the partner program again. Well, I had 600 subscribers at that point, and I had a ton of watch time because people were watching me. It was the whole drama market. They were watching me, right? So I had like 30,000 plus watch hours, but I had only 600 subscribers. So I started doing some networking. I met a lot of people, and on the very last day, I got to 1,000 subscribers. And I went to my back end. I saw Super Chat enabled. I was at my place, and my girlfriend at the time, who was helping me on my channel, was at her place. I sent her a text. I made it. I got Super Chat because you needed 1,000 subscribers for Super Chat, even with the old rules before they changed them to needing 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 plus watch hours in 12 months just to qualify for, the partner program within itself. What happened? 3 hours later, YouTube swept through the system and they demonetized me and told me I didn't, make it in time. And I kept on trying to contact creator support and Team YouTube on Twitter. And I tried for many, 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 many months. They kept on putting me in an endless review. Even 6 months after, they demonetized my channel after I qualified on the very last day with the new rules. They sent me an email saying, we need more time. We are further looking into your channel. It requires a second look. And because of that, and because I ended up going through my breakup shortly after that time, I took those two things into consideration, and I realized that the best thing to do is to remove that channel. It has a lot of bad blood on it. I want to be fair to my ex-girlfriend because, hey, she really did nothing wrong. I put her in this position. And as hard as it was to do it, I ended up shutting down that channel. I shut down that channel, and for the next 2 to 3 months, I focused on myself. I was hurt. I was in a lot of pain. I missed her. I'm not going to lie. We had a lot of great times together. Her and I shared so many great times together in the year and a half or so that we were, almost 2 years that we were together, more than I have with any other woman. And her and I connected better than I have with any other woman. And her family was amazing. Like it was the most amazing situation I'd been in. But I needed time to work through it. So what did I do? I went back out on Facebook, and I was, focusing on my actual friends that I met in person. And I had done some networking to grow my insurance business in person for the previous several years before coming on YouTube. So I was catering my content to them. And then, 3 months after that point, I said, you know what? This Facebook thing is really not getting me any traction. It's not working. I'm starting to feel a little bit better now. I'm going to come back out on YouTube and start things over again. So first things first, folks, if you have to start over in a situation like this, there's nothing wrong. Or if you have to take some time away to self-reflect, there's nothing wrong with that. But this is what I've learned since that point. What I could have done instead of delete my channel is I could have hidden my channel, which would have made it appear like it was deleted, but it would have been hidden. And then what I could have done while it was hidden is go in there and remove all those videos and then, basically, put it live 3 months down the road and leave off where I left off. But thinking back, I'm kind of glad I did it the way I did it, because all the people that were subscribed to me on that channel were people from, the bad blood side of things that I wanted to remove. Okay, so hold on a second. I've got something freezing up here. So I came back on this channel. It was a couple different names. I can't remember the names I had in the past before I rebranded it to A Grip on Life a little over a year ago. Maybe a year and 3 months ago or so. I reconnected with some of the good people from the past, from that MGTOW community I was discussing. And they wanted me to go live because they said live gets more views and it's more interactive. But I said, look, I'm not ready to go live right now. I'm fresh out of this relationship and my former channel. It's been 3 months. I feel a lot better and I feel good enough to move on. But I'll be honest, I had not completely worked through it at that point yet. I needed a little more time. And so what ended up happening was a month or two after that, I felt so much better that I said, screw it. I'm going to come back and start doing live streams. I started doing live streams with a few of the people from that former community that was attacking me, but they were more of the good people, right? And even though I still believe these people are good people to this day, the fact that I am associating with them and they're associating with the bad people, they are the leak to those bad people. And I started putting it out there and I started saying that guilty by association. You are who you associate with. So if this person or a few people that really wanted to work with me and I like them are associating with negative people that are attacking me and they're okay with them attacking me, then, if I collaborate with them or work with them on something, they're only the gateway, the leak back into the negativity, right? So what did I have to do? I had to even remove those good people that I really liked and still like to this day because they were a leak back into the other side. And that's another thing, folks, as a content creator, you have to sit there and understand that not all collaborations are going to work. And, you should not be torn to deal with situations such as this one where, you're trying to remove yourself from a negative group or a hate group, as I like to call this group. But one or two people that were good that came out of it still want to associate with them and with you. You can't have both sides. You can't make your bed and then lay in it, okay? So I had to remove even these good people, and they got ticked off and they were trying to message me privately behind the scenes and call me, and I had to ignore them. I had to move on because they still wanted to associate with the devil and they were telling me to separate that, but it didn't matter because when they would come on my channel, I could ban these people, but if I were to go on this guy's channel that I liked, he didn't ban these people. He would let them come in and they would start attacking, right? So why? You understand what I'm saying? You got to understand, folks, that sometimes in life, you got to let go of some people that you don't really want to let go of because they are associated with people that are going to lead you to the bad side, to the dark side, to the devil. Now, I figured coming back on this channel here that it was going to change things for me. I figured that these people would go away and they had their fun on my former channel. And I was no longer, with my ex. So I figured, okay, I'm going to come out here. Maybe I'll get a little bit of trolling, but it should be different. I'll be able to grow my channel, got a fresh start, started with 0 subscribers, started over again, right? Well, no, that's not what happened. These people were waiting for me literally within a day or two of coming back on the scene. They were all making videos again. Eli's back, Eli's back, Eli's back, Eli's back. And it just, to make a long story short, it just became one big shit show. That's what it became. It became one big shit show. Give me 1 second here. So anyway, let me see how far along we've gotten. We're at 36 minutes. What I'm probably going to do, folks, is go another 5 to 7 minutes or so, then take a quick break, and then come back and finish up the story and, share some more tips and tricks on how you can, avoid these situations and give yourself the best shot at success. Again, I know there are a lot of people out there that are good people, and they've either been in my situation or similar situations. They have a great message to put out there, and they work hard creating thumbnails, titles, descriptions, tags, promoting their videos. They start getting a little bit of traction, and then once that happens, they start getting these people attacking them. And then, whether they ignore them or not, even if they ignore them, these people keep coming. And then what happens with a lot of these trolls and haters, when they don't get to you, when these trolls and haters don't get to you because you ignore them, they go and find out who means the most to you, who cares the most to you, and they attack you. They attack, any revenue stream that you have. They attack your family. Like this is what these people do. And it's listen, it can cost you a lot. Now, did it, has this cost me a lot being a YouTuber? Yeah, I will say it has cost me. Has it cost me everything? No, I haven't lost it all. I'm still here and I'm moving forward. But I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that it hasn't cost me anything. Because in all honesty, look, one of the biggest things that cost me was a relationship with someone I really cared about. And that's something I'll never forget. Again, I've moved past it, but it is something that I will never forget. And because I'm a strong person, I'm able to work through something like that. But some people aren't as strong as me. Some people, may never get over something like that, or it'll take them longer, right? I'm just sharing what I experienced. And if I knew then what I know now, how I would have better handled it. Rhonda Grace, hey, welcome to the show. Rhonda Grace Exploring. Why did that happen, Eli? Why the shit show? Why are you still talking about this? If this bad stuff, you want to leave it behind. Well, Rhonda, I want to talk about this because I want to help other people that are going through it. I want to share my truth. I want to share what I've experienced and what I've been through and how I've handled it and how I'm still moving forward when other people may be struggling with the same thing. A lot of people don't talk about these things, Rhonda, and they keep it to themselves, right? I think people need to share their stories. They need to share what they've been through. They need to let it out. Because when they let it out, it's allowing them to release everything and put it behind them, but it's also helping other people at the same time. And I really hope that makes a lot of sense there for you. I've always been a very transparent person, and I've always shared my truth. And again, today, I wanted to do this because I know there are a lot of other people out there that are going through the same thing, have been through the same thing, and are either on the edge of quitting or have already quit. Maybe it will give them a second chance. Maybe it'll give them a second win. Maybe they'll learn how to handle it better like I have. So I really hope that that answers your question, Rhonda. I hope that makes a lot of sense for you. And again, I have a lot of respect for you and many people that have been loyal and honest with me and genuine with me. If anything that I'm doing here offends you or bothers you, I do apologize for that. I want to be true to myself. I can't be true to you or others unless I'm true to myself first. Rhonda Grace Exploring says, yeah, sometimes you have to tell your story. That's what I wanted to do, Rhonda. Today's story time with Coach Eli. If people don't want to hear my story, that's on them. They don't have to be here. And I'm not saying that to you. I have a lot of respect for you. I just wanted to be honest with you. And you may have missed the first part of the stream where I said, this is not a stream to bash YouTube. This is not a stream for me to be jaded or sour or anything. This is a stream where I want to help other people that are in a similar situation or have gone through what I've gone through and have given up to come back and give yourself another chance. Or if you're about to give up, to not give up because you have support and I can support you. And I welcome those people over here to my channel so I can support them and share with them what I've learned and what's allowed me to keep moving forward. I'm going to mention this, Rhonda and Mutt and Queen and anyone else. I don't watch a lot of the drama streams or anything anymore, but I lately I've been kind of tuning in sporadically for a few minutes to some of these channels, just out of curiosity to see if they're still talking about me, and they are. There's one creator that did a stream today. And, he's not really a content creator. And he was kind of making fun of me saying that, I just got a new laptop and I'm not really a YouTuber, but I have, more people on your than you have on your live stream. And, I was sitting there and listening to this and I was just laughing. I was laughing and I was thinking to myself, does this guy not realize that the only reason why he has more people there than I typically have is because he was talking about me. When he doesn't talk about me and goes live, he has one or two people there. So, and I'm not even trying to address him, but I guess I will just for poops and giggles. Sir, do you realize that when you talk about me or anyone talks about me to this group of people that, don't like me and are solely there for other people to kick me down, when you do that, you're going to get a lot of traction. Sir, why don't you create your own content like I do and see how many people show up, right? Seriously, why don't you focus on the purpose of your channel, which is about, addiction. You're a former drug addict, right? So why don't you do yourself some justice and focus on your purpose? And that's what I want to help people with, right? Queen Helen Case says, who cares what the invisible enemies say? Yeah, it's not a big deal. Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. It's just not a big deal. Hey, Colin, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. But yeah, so I got a good laugh at it. Now, had this been a year or two ago before I learned how to deal with this stuff, it would have triggered me. It didn't trigger me. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh. And what I'm trying to tell other people out there that are going through the same thing, that are being trolled at this level, is to, number one, try to not pay that much attention to it. But if you're going to tune in every now and then to see what other people are saying about you, make sure you've worked through it first and get a good laugh at it. Because in essence, all these people are doing are projecting their insecurities onto people like myself. And if there are other channels out there, that have a different purpose, and an example, this guy's purpose is to talk about addiction, and he's a former user, and he, initially was sharing the stories, on how he got clean. If he's going to change the purpose of his channel from that to doing live streams about me every day, of course you're going to get more traction, because you're giving that audience you have what they want, because you're a part of that hateful audience too, sir. It's pretty pathetic. So I don't let this stuff get to me. And I had to learn it the hard way, because I did not know that this is how YouTube worked. I did not know this is what was happening on YouTube. I guess you could say I was blindsided. I was. Because again, like I mentioned earlier, if I knew back then what I know now, I would have never fed into this as much as I did, if at all. I would have known how to better handle it. I would have moved forward. Who knows? I might have still been with my ex. Probably so. Things would have been different. This is what it cost me, folks. I'm sharing with you folks what this has cost me. It's cost me things that I enjoy, I love, and I care for. And sometimes you got to sit there and weigh the pros and the cons. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Now, I kept moving forward, and I came back because this is my purpose. And I realized that despite what happens in any relationship with me and how much I care about someone, if I'm not happy within myself first, and if I don't fulfill my purpose first, I'm never going to be happy enough to make another woman happy. So in essence, as much as I really cared for and enjoyed my last relationship more than any other one I'd ever been in with my ex, and she's amazing, the right thing happened. I was able to, look back several months after I got over the breakup and realize that what she did to break up with me was do me a favor. She wasn't trying to hurt me. She wasn't trying to kick me to the curb. She was trying to let me go to sort this out and become what I was meant to become. And that's why I share these stories with you folks, because I want you to understand what you're going through at a much deeper level than you're understanding it. So that way you don't have an emotional breakdown and feel like you're worthless, and then all of a sudden you just quit and give up or do something worse, which I hope you don't ever take it to that level of doing something worse. I'm not going to mention what it is. I think you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, we are at 48 minutes. I'm going to step away and take a quick 5 to 7 or 8 minute break and get a little more coffee. And then I'm going to come back and finish the rest of the story and answer any questions that you folks may have in the chat. Today's story time with Eli. I'm sharing my personal experience or experiences of being out here on YouTube between my former channel and this one for the last 3.5, almost 4 years, folks. And I'm telling you, if you're just tuning in and you've been struggling with this and you've been dealing with hate, you've been dealing with, you've been struggling to grow your channel for whatever reason, but you also have people that are coming at you and trying to hinder your progress, this stream is definitely for you. If you miss any parts, you're going to have to wait for the replay to watch the first part, because I have the DVR rewind feature disabled, so I can have people here live at the moment that, I'm live. But also stick around, and for when I get back after the break, because I'm going to get a little more into it. So let me do this. Let me go ahead and cue up some music. Let me cue up a little bit of music. Moderators, I want to thank you all for doing a phenomenal job at keeping the chat clean. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, give me a second here. And where is the other song I want to play? Do 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 do. Do do do. Which one is it gonna be? Which one is it gonna be? All right, folks, we're all set. So stick around. Part 2 is coming up right after the break. Do not go anywhere! You feel it? You feel that? Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. Get them up, 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 up, get those hands up. Move them all around, shake them all about. I want you all to feel real good. Want you all to feel real good. By the way, if you cut this without my permission, you will be stricken down for copyright infringement, so be careful. Just warning you. Clap your hands, clap your hands, clap, clap, clap your hands, 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 clap, 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 clap your hands. Yeah. Oh yeah, I feel good. I feel so good. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube. I love YouTube. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's more good. Trust me, it's more good. But there is the bad and the ugly side as well. And today, I'm here to share my personal story with you folks regarding my experiences of being a YouTuber for the last, 3.5, almost 4 years. And, let me just read the title of the stream here. The title of the stream is YouTube Has Completely Changed My Life. A real perspective from an experienced life coach. YouTube has completely changed my life. Now, I mentioned a lot of the negative ways it impacted me during the first part of the show. I did that because I want you folks to understand what really happens out here. Because when it happens to you, and I'm telling you, it's going to happen to everyone, because there are always going to be nasty people around trying to kick down good people and a positive message. You're going to have a better understanding of how to handle this. Okay, so during the first part of the show, I mentioned the negative aspects of what you're going to be dealing with out here on YouTube. And had I known about these aspects, I would have known how to handle them better. But just because I didn't know doesn't mean you don't have to know. That's where I come into play, and that's where I can help you better understand this. So if you're struggling with this, please feel free to stop by my channel. Email me, Coach Eli at coacheli@melas.com, and I'd be happy to help you out, especially if you're thinking about quitting YouTube or you were thinking about starting a channel, but then you started to see what happens and you didn't want to deal with it or don't want to deal with it. I can help you work through that. Now, during the second part of this show, I'm going to share more of the positive aspects of what YouTube has how it's completely changed my life and the gift it has given me and the gift that it could give you if you stick to it, stay consistent, and don't let anyone derail you or get in the way of accomplishing whatever you want to accomplish out here, right? So, man, that was some high energy right there. Wow. Tone it down a little bit, Eli. Tone it down a little bit. Oh my gosh. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I don't know how much longer this is going to take for me to share this, but I want to share some stories about myself in my younger days, growing up as a preteen, as a teenager, and what really made me the enthusiastic, outgoing, talkative person I am today. A lot of people have asked me, Eli, you're one of few people that can run a 2, 3, or 4 hour live stream by yourself with no panel and engage your audience and never run out of things to talk about. How do you do it? How do you keep coming up with topics? Well, I've always been a talkative person, and I'll get specific here. Let me just get right to it here. When I was younger, I used to love the radio. Growing up back in the 80s, I was born in 73, but when I was in grammar school, growing up in the 80s, I would always listen to music in the background. I would have the radio on, in the background while I was doing my homework. It just, relaxed me, right? And back in those days, I mean, radio stations are still around, but people don't listen to them as much anymore. They listen to more of a Pandora type of thing, or Amazon Music, or Sirius XM satellite radio, which pretty much removes the DJ and all that. But what I really, really liked the most about listening to a radio station besides the music is hearing the DJ, hearing the enthusiasm of the DJ. 99.7 FM KFRC or X100. This is Super Snake. And you know what? Caller number 10 right now. Call in and you're going to win 2 tickets to see New Kids on the Block. Yeah, I actually saw New Kids on the Block. I've talked about that before. I actually won a lot of concert tickets from radio contests, but that's what I really loved about the radio. I loved the DJ on-air personality. I loved it when they would give away, prizes, and they would say caller number 10 or caller number 20, right? And whenever they would do that, I would just sit there, hit redial, and I won a lot of radio contests growing up. And what I would do, if I won that contest, I would have a tape recorder back then. This dates me. Tape recorders, right? Many of you millennials and post-millennials, the I generation, Gen Y, probably have no idea what a tape recorder is. But it was this, this unit that you would put a cassette tape in there. And you could either press play, or if you had a recordable cassette, you could press the red button along with play, and you could record, your voice. Or if you had a cassette recorder with a built-in radio, you could record the radio station. So whenever I would win one of those contests on the air, I knew that they typically don't put you on live. What they would do is they'd go to commercial, and then they would pick the winner. They would record, you winning, right? So for example, if I was caller number 10, they'd say, hello, X100, who's this? I said, this is Eli. Eli, where are you from? I'm from Redwood City, All right, Eli, you're caller number 10. How do you feel about that? I feel great, right? And I was like, wow. And all my friends would listen to those radio stations back then, right? So whenever I would win, it was something to talk about the next day at school or wherever, right? So, I would record myself, and I have to go and find those recordings. I have them somewhere. I think it'd be really interesting to share them one day. But how does this tie into what I do out here today on YouTube? How does this tie into how YouTube has completely changed my life? Well, Muttnuts World says, I listen to my local radio station, Froggy 99.9 on iHeartRadio through my Echo Dot. All right, cool. Yeah, it's great. That's great. How does this tie into it? Well, because of that, what I would do in my younger days, I started, delivering newspapers at a young age, and I would make about $100 a month delivering newspapers. And back in the 80s, for somebody that's a preteen or a 13, 14, 15-year-old kid, 16-year-old kid, that was a lot of money, right? And back then we had what were called, record players. Then we ended up calling them turntables, right? And I had a turntable, and I had a Sony receiver with a turntable, and I had a double cassette deck, right? Remember the double cassette deck? That way you could duplicate tapes. And then, when CDs came out, I added the CD player. I had different components, right? But I wanted to be able to pretend to be a DJ in my room. I really wanted to practice being a DJ because I was thinking to myself, I want to be a DJ or a television host or something like that. I want to be in the entertainment industry, or I want to, just entertain people and make people feel good about themselves, right? So what did I do, when I was younger and, I was making $100 a month, and, you're living at home, and, your family's feeding you and driving you everywhere. You haven't started driving yet. I would tell my mom to take me down to the record store, once per month. And I would buy, the hottest singles. I would buy what were called 45 records. See, there were 2 types of records back then. There was the 33 and a third, which was the big full album, right? Okay. It would spin at 33 and a third revolutions per minute. That's RPM, right? And then there were the 45s. They were the smaller record where you'd have to put that big circular thing in the middle, because the 45 records didn't have the little tiny hole the bigger records had. It had the big hole, and it had one song on there. Typically, it was a smash hit, right? And I wanted all the hits because I wanted to be able to pretend to be a DJ in my room, to practice being a DJ in my room, playing all the latest hits. So I'd sit there in my room and I'd say, all right, here we go. It's Michael Jackson's Beat It on 99.7 FM, KELI. Boom, right? And I start playing it, right? And I just had a lot of fun with it. And yeah, I drove my brother crazy and my mother and father crazy at times. Sometimes I cranked it up a little bit too loud. But I really enjoyed doing that. Of course, I hung out with friends at times and, did other things, but what I really enjoyed doing the most during my alone time, which alone time is so valuable, is being a DJ and entertaining people and playing good music and just, cheering people up, uplifting people. I've always been the type of person that loves making people feel good. The reason why I, as I got older, I, enjoyed making people feel good is because when I was younger, I started getting teased, and I was actually even teased all the way throughout my, sophomore year, early junior year in high school. And again, this was also, how do I say this the right way? Because I was getting teased, this was also a way for me to deflect off of that and to try to ignore that and avoid that and to just keep things more on the positive side. So because of what I was going through and being teased and kicked down by people in the same ways that the trolls do out here on YouTube, this was my escape. This was what I wanted to do to radiate positivity into the world. Let's see. Nuts World says, I had the unit that was the turntable, cassette player, and television all in one unit. It was a big floor unit. Wow, that's not dating my age back then. You're only a few years younger than me, Mud. I think you're 42, almost 43. I'm 46. I'll be 47 in December. Yeah, I remember that. Those days. I still have my old Sony component system with the turntable. I think the only component I didn't have that was Sony was the turntable. It was a JVC turntable. The Sony turntables, Sony, products are so astronomically priced, and I had already spent enough money through allowance and gifts and paper route money on my system back then that I just didn't feel like spending 3 times as much for a turntable just so I could say Sony on it. So I had a JVC turntable, I had a Sony receiver, I had a Sony double cassette deck, and I had a Sony CD player. And it was before the carousel, the 5 disc changers came out and all that. It was a single Sony CD player. So anytime I wanted to hear a different CD, I'd have to eject the CD and, put it back in, right? So anyway, Colin's Trivia. And it also had an 8-track player as well. I remember the 8 tracks. My mother growing up used to drive a 1976 Chrysler Cordoba. It was a big tank, right? It was a black Chrysler Cordoba with black leather seats. Let me tell you, when it was hot, this thing was a sauna. It did have air conditioning, but that didn't really help because what absorbs heat the most? The color black, right? So this car, it was a nice looking car and it was a tank, and the thing drove smooth and it chugged gas, but it had an 8-track in there. And we would listen in that car, Mutt, we would listen to Johnny Mathis. Johnny Mathis. Oh, man. Johnny Mathis. Oh, Venus, oh, Venus. Yeah. Oh, those were the days. Those were the days. I'm reminiscing right now. Collins Trivia says, I remember the old turntable, radio, CD, and cassette player all in one. Oh yeah, dude, you're dating us, brother. I mean, you're I think you're in your mid 30s, but you're still, I guess, fairly young enough to remember them. You were younger than us, but yeah, you still remember them. I was born January 25th, 1978. I was December 17th, 1973. Collins Trivia, 1984. So I was 73, you're 78, Mutt, and Colin, you're 84. Okay. So you're like 35, right around there. Mutt Nuts World, mine was put out by Magnavox. Didn't Philips buy Magnavox? I believe Philips bought Magnavox, and I don't think the Magnavox brand exists anymore, but I remember Magnavox. You know what? I used to hate Magnavox. Magnavox used to have a lot of issues, and we used to, and no disrespect to you, we used to call Magnavox the poor person's Sony, right? Because you would have a lot of issues with Magnavox products, and then I believe Philips bought them, and then they got a lot better because it was basically a Philips product with the Magnavox, label on it, and then I believe Philips just, stopped using the name and just made everything Philips. Muttnuts World says, my dad had lots of 8-tracks. Muttnuts World also says, I have also had CBS. Or you must mean CDs as well in both cars and one in the house. Did you mean CDs, Mutt? Because you put CBS. I'm just kind of curious what you meant by that. So anyway, how does this tie into YouTube completely changing my life in a positive way? YouTube has now given me the platform to be able to share my personality that I've always had. I can come out here and have my own show. I created a television studio in my place to where I can run as many shows as I want. I can build my own audience, and I can live my dream of what I always dreamed of being when I was a little kid. I wanted to be either a DJ or I wanted to be a television show host or a talk show host or something of that nature. I used to always watch a lot of talk show hosts. I used to watch The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and before that, Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. I watched so many talk show hosts or talk shows, which is what I'm trying to say. And I really enjoyed the interview aspect of people. I really enjoyed when they were asked questions, especially if it was somebody that, I really liked, a particular singer or actor or actress or whatever, right? And then they were interviewed, and I just really loved that back and forth communication and allowing us to get to know the people that we've been following, whether it's an artist, a song artist or an actor or actress. It allowed us to get to know these people we've been following for a while and love their stuff a little more intimately. And that's the kind of person that I am. I really love getting to know people. What really intrigues me the most about people, besides who they end up being, is how they got there. What inspired them to get there, and what is their story on how they got there? What were their struggles? Okay, what did they have to overcome and work through, and how did they keep moving forward when the times were tough? I heard yesterday, I believe Regis Philbin passed away at the age, I think he was 94. Let me see. Regis Philbin. Regis Philbin, dead at 88. He was 88 years old. And, I got the notification on my phone, and I ended up reading his story on what it took for him to make it work. And Regis, I believe, is not the tallest guy in the world. So Regis was attacked. He was kicked down. Regis kept pushing forward and did whatever it would take to end up getting his dream, right? And then he ended up getting his dream of having a talk show that was initially a local show, and then it was nationally syndicated. And then Regis was a huge part. Do you remember the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire when it first came out? ABC, the American broadcasting company, was about to lose it all. They were about to go bankrupt. And because Regis fought to get the position of running that show, he wasn't even in the running for it initially, but he stuck his nose in there. He said, "Look, I want to be a part of this too. I want you to consider me as well. This is what I can do. I know I can turn this around for you folks," right? He didn't give up, right? They hired Regis. ABC hired Regis to do Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And for 2 years where that show ran, because they overdid it once they saw how much attention it got, the ratings soared through the roof, and the show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in 2 years generated $1 billion in revenue, which made Regis more of a millionaire than he probably already was, right? And basically ended up at that time being 2/3 of ABC's revenue. How huge is that? But do you think if Regis gave up and didn't fight for what he wanted and worked through all the hate and all that stuff, that he would have gotten there, right? No, he was 88. 88. Yeah, I looked it up. Queen Helen Key says, yesterday John Saxton passed away. Also John Saxton. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've been losing a lot of great people lately. But you want to know, like I said, Mutt and Queen, what really matters to me the most about people. Them being successful and entertaining us and providing us either a tangible product or entertainment or whatever. Beyond that, what really, really intrigues me the most about people is their story and how they got there. I think more and more people need to do storytelling time, especially out here on YouTube. I think that can relate more with people. And that's why I'm here to do this today. That's why I'm sharing these stories. I want people to be able to relate with me, because if you're going to trust me to help you move forward through some aspects of your life you may be struggling with, whether it's on the business side or on the personal side, I really want you to know who you're dealing with. I really want you to know that I'm not a perfect person, and I've made lots of mistakes in the past. How the heck do you think I learned how to be a life coach and teach people how to not make these mistakes? It's through making mistakes, right? A lot of people, especially the trolls and haters, think that, oh, he's not a life coach, he doesn't have a girlfriend, or, he makes a lot of mistakes. Well, how the heck do you learn how to prevent making mistakes if you haven't made those mistakes initially to be able to identify them, right? Well, the trolls already know that. They just like to try to kick people down for any reason. Let's see here. Queen Helen Casey says, yes, I do. Queen Helen Casey says, today an article came out about an actress from Gone with the Wind passed away. Gone with the Wind. Actress dies. Oh, yeah, Olivia de Havilland. She was 104 years old. Yeah, I heard about that. I forgot to mention that. She was 104 years old, Queen. That is one hell of a life. 104. Wow. If I hit triple digits, wow. Wow, what a blessing that would be. Anyone that can live to reach 100, wow. They've really taken good care of themselves. Or they've also had some luck, but more so taken good care of themselves. 104, huh, Queen? Isn't that great? Isn't that great? So, folks, YouTube has given me that opportunity to come out here and live my childhood dream. part of why I do, and I'm going to mention this, I'm going to start wrapping this up. So if you folks have any other questions, please get them in the chat now because I'm about to wrap this up here. YouTube has allowed me to live my childhood dream, like I said. I love interacting with people. I love engaging people. I love helping people in any way possible. And having this platform where I can run high quality live streams from my own home studio. And it doesn't really even cost me to do it besides the initial equipment I bought, is a gift, is a blessing. And I'm very grateful and thankful for it. Had YouTube never come out or anything like this, the only way I could have done this is go to school, get a broadcast journalism degree, which I even thought about doing that back then. I almost went to college to get either a broadcast journalism degree or an electrical engineer degree. And I decided to go a different route. I've shared that story before. I won't get into it now. But I almost decided to do that because I really enjoyed, broadcast journalism. Okay? I really enjoyed, the media. I really enjoyed listening to, talk show hosts and DJs, even news anchors. I enjoyed that. I even was thinking at a younger age, I want to be a news anchor, right? I want to be on CNN, or I want to, be on, CBS. I want to be the next Walter Cronkite, or who was the other guy? Remember Dan Rather, Queen? This is dating us, but I wanted to be the next Dan Rather. I wanted to be known as the man that shares the news with everyone every day, right? I had all those goals, dreams, and aspirations from a very young age. And YouTube has given me that. Now, granted, my channel is not the biggest channel, and it's not as successful as I'd like it to be yet, but it's going to get there because I'm going to keep moving forward. But if anything else, what it's done for me, what YouTube's done for me, it's allowed me to live my dream. Even if I don't make any money on a stream or don't make any money for a while, I still enjoy doing what I do because it's allowing me to live my childhood dream as an adult. And I'm very grateful and thankful for it. I didn't do that video because I never saw the movie, says Queen. And Mutt says that was Olivia de Havilland. Yeah, I looked at that. Thank you, Queen. Or thank you, Mutt. And Queen says, yes, I remember. Yeah, Walter Cronkite. This is Walter Cronkite. This is Dan Rather, CBS News. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nowadays, we have Chris Como, right, Queen, on CNN? Queen, you love the Como brothers. Queen, the Como brothers are going to continue giving you endless content, especially Andrew, right? I know how much you love the Como family, Queen. But I'll say another thing, folks, real quick. I forgot to mention. When I was younger, I really enjoyed, I don't think I mentioned this at the beginning of the show, but if I did, I'm sorry for repeating myself. I just want to make sure I get it in here in case I didn't mention it. When I was younger, I used to always like to help my friends fix their laptops, their desktops, fix any electronics that were broken because I've always been a very tech-savvy, electronic-savvy type of person. And I'll tell you, I never expected anything from them in return. Some of them offered to pay me. I never accepted any money from them. I said, you're my friend. I want to help you. If I need help with something maybe that you're good at, maybe you'll help me down the road. Oh, absolutely. And they did. Some of them offered to take me out to dinner or cook me dinner and stuff, or have dinner with their family. And I even turned that down, but in most of those cases, they kind of pushed me into it. So I ended up, having dinner with them and their family, or just them, right? But let me tell you something. It wasn't about doing it because I wanted something. It wasn't about making money. It was about doing something to help someone out that I was knowledgeable on because it made me feel good that I could help them. It made me feel good that I could solve their problem. That's how I've always been. I got to tell you, folks, I'm going to wrap up by saying this. Okay? When I was younger, in my very early younger days, I used to have expectations. I used to always give with the hopes that I would get. And if I didn't start getting something back in return for what I gave, it would start to bother me, and then I would stop giving, and then I would just get angry and upset. As I started to get a little bit older, I started to realize the point of giving is to not expect something in return. The point of giving is to give with your heart and soul. Give to someone in need. Give to someone that may not have as much money to go and solve the issue that you can solve for them for free. So I've always, since my younger days, even through this day, I always have looked at it as this way. I give to give, not give to get. One more time. I give to give, not give to get. When you give to give, and you're an honest, caring, loving, and genuine person, it will come back to you at some point. It may not come back to you right away. It may not come back to you for a very long time, but at some point, if you are a giver and people see that and you give with no expectation, that's going to go much further with most people than doing it the other way around. And those types of people are the types of people that are going to start supporting you more financially and in other ways when they see how giving you are for a long period of time. It's how I've always been, folks. Well, since my younger days where I wasn't that way before that time, but you know what I'm saying, I realized in my younger days that when I was giving to get, that wasn't me. That wasn't the right thing. And you know what? When you give to get, you never get back anything in return. And if you do, it's short-lived, and it typically causes issues and ruins friendships and just, you know, destroys everything. So anyway, so yeah, you know, YouTube has completely changed my life. There are good aspects of YouTube, and there are some not so good aspects of YouTube. But I think there's more good than bad. And if you learn how to deal with the bad, and you just learn to ignore it and avoid it and just keep moving forward, eventually you're going to reach all of your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations. And that's where I'm going to end this stream today at 1 hour and 31 minutes. I want to thank everyone for taking the time to view this video. If you missed any parts of it, go back on the replay and check it out. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you to Queen Helen Casey, head moderator, for being here. Thank you to Mutt Nuts World, moderator and channel member, for 2 months. Thank you to Rhonda Grace Exploring for stopping by earlier. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you to Collins Trivia for being here as well. And if I missed anyone else besides that, thank you to you as well. And thank you to everyone behind the scenes that's just watching and listening and not chatting. I greatly appreciate you and love all of you no matter what. Whether you love me or not, that's okay. Not a problem. Whether you love me or not, I still have love for you, and I still wish you the best. With that being said, have yourselves a great, great night, and I'll see you all next time. Tomorrow, more than likely tomorrow, will be another members-only video and another stream. So stick around. That's coming up tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. We're out. We're out. We're out. Peace out. Peace, 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 peace. We're out. We're out. We're out. Bye-bye.